It's a beautiful, about 70-degree Sunday afternoon in March, which is honestly a little hot. And it's time for us to start feeding silage. And truth be told, I already had one tractor hooked on this silage feed wagon, and it already let me down. Before I even got a load of silage on it, I didn't even make it to the silage pile with it. And it starved itself of fuel or ran out of fuel. So, yeah, sorry guys, it was Nallis 190XT that let me down. So I think that thing's on the list to leave. It's actually already for sale if you're after it. Comes with the parts tractor. I'll get it sorted out. I think it's just plugging the bottom of the fuel tank. It's plugging the sediment bowls and not getting fuel to the injector pump. That's the way it acts. But because it's here and it's unique and I haven't gotten any use out of it yet, and it's got a 540 PTO, why not use the 2150, right? Because 150 PTO horsepower on a 540 PTO is more than enough. But I do like big tractors on this gig so I don't get pushed around. My 1206 Weedy actually pulled this thing a good bit last year in an 806 as well. But I fired this thing up this morning. Or this afternoon, it just lit right off in the feed wagon here to pull out of or lit right off about 10 minutes ago to pull it out of the shed. All the oils were good on it. But I'm gonna get this thing hooked on. We're gonna kind of grease and go over this feed wagon real quick, check tires on this, and probably better check tires on the tractor. Gotta get a PTO on it. That's the only thing it takes to run this old John Deere chuck wagon. We just run a silage and ground hay mix around here. Nothing special at all about what we're up to here in feeding cattle. We feed kind of the month of March and April, and that is it around here. But with that, I'm gonna get the PTO hooked up. I'm gonna soak some of the stuff down on this thing just to make sure we're good. Maybe tighten up a few chains I see here are a little bit loose and put her to work. Just humming along here, engage the PTO. It's nice when this thing is fairly silent. Let's put it that way. But we're gonna oil some chains here. And we're gonna tighten up this side elevator chain quite a bit. My nose is loose, but I'd like to grease it first or oil it first. I hit as many grease zerks as I could get to on this thing. There's a few it has to be rotated just right to hit, and it wasn't there yet, so we'll come back and try to catch those again. I haven't used this thing since probably April, or May. Trying to make sure we're all good and ready to roll here, essentially. Looks like the floor chain is working. Nothing too loud or scary. We've been using these chuck wagons basically since we started feeding cattle. I've had like a Kelly Ryan John Deere along the way as backup. Or Kelly Ryan feed wagon along the way as backup, and that honestly spent more time broken than working. And we've tried a couple mixers and they didn't really hold up very well for us. We always just end up back on these chuck wagons because they're kind of disposable and really they're fairly heavy duty. These chains actually are pretty nice and oiled, but you just will hit them again since you're here. I try to oil the chains on this thing about once a week, if not every other week. And now we're going to talk about a little pet peeve of mine. And it's something I see a lot of YouTubers with new farm machinery doing. And I think they're asking for trouble, but they're probably trading out the machinery so fast, it's probably not a problem for them. And it's that they've got these really nice Milwaukee grease guns, and I carry two of them actually for two different kinds of grease. But they always got them in high gear. I mean, the one I only use to fill corn head grease, right? And like on this, it's not going to hurt anything to put it in high gear and give her the beans like that, because it's just a sleeve that's greasing here. But aren't they just asking to blow out the bearings? And shouldn't they just be, giving her like 3 or 4 pumps in low instead of giving it 36? Anybody else notice that, or am I just an idiot? Just a little pet peeve of mine. I think a lot of them boys are just asking to blow out seals on a lot of bearings, but That's just me. You can over grease. You can. You can also under grease. So I guess this here is ready to rock and roll. It's all greased up, aired up, checked. Should be fine. We'll move cows sometime this week over to where we're gonna feed silage, because we're gonna start calving here any day. Loader for that should be showing up here about any time too. It'd be nice to get a loader on it, because I think we would use it to fill the feed wagon probably every day. Because I don't know, bidirectionals on loading feed wagons. Not the most awesome thing in the world, but we'll get into that another day. But yeah, I'm tickled with this. And I don't think this will be what we use the whole season on the feed wagon. I got another tractor in, and I'm not entirely sure what order these videos are coming out in, but I did get another tractor in here, and it's cabbed and pretty nice. Sold new locally. I've got rear tires for it, and it needs a clutch though. But I have the clutch and another tractor that came in recently that we've already had a video on. So there's your hint. And so I'd like to split that guy, swap the good clutch into it, and put it on the feed wagon. That way at least I'm out of the wind a little bit. And that tractor does have like a blower motor and stuff in it. It's actually working. So it'd be really nice to just use it. Honestly, we'll split that thing, I hope, put a clutch in it here and put it to work on that. It's kind of my idea. If not, we'll get my 1206 out here, or one of the 1206s out here. Need to get the gold demo out to the farm and try to rub some paint off it too, but haven't had time to do that yet. We'll see. That's good. I'm glad we're able to use this white. Being March, it's also time to do one more thing. And that's drill oats, which means I need to get this hooked on. It's got a little bit of feed seed left over in the bottom of it. I mean, like that much storage. Need to get that vacuumed out, thrown in a pro box, and we'll get this thing hooked on to my 1370. But I gotta move the 180 LP out of the way first. So I'll throw a battery on it, fire it up, and park it over there next to my 63806, I think. Case is hooked on. I think I got all the hydraulics hooked up right, had a couple backwards. Gonna pull this thing out of here and unfold it. We'll come back another day and vacuum it out. I got a separate idea I want to chase since it's Sunday for fun. But yeah, there you go. All right, that's backed over here and ready to be cleaned out. Everything unfolded like it should. Nothing real interesting to say here. You guys have seen this thing in the field before, and you'll see it more. And it's still got GPS on it this year to do more drilling, so it's excited about that. But we're gonna run into town and chase a separate idea. It could be really stupid, but could be really fun. Could really piss Dad off, but he might also love it. We'll see. Something I've wanted to try for a long, long time and finally have an opportunity to do. So we're gonna seize it, I hope. We'll see. All right, here's my bad idea. We need to work ground ahead of oats, usually with disc and then field cultivate, probably. We're not gonna talk about that, it's its own video. But I gotta find a hydraulic cylinder to put on this with long hoses, because they need to run from there all the way down the frame and to here. So I know I've got a cylinder around, I just gotta go get it located. And yeah, local guy actually tried to use this last year and wasn't able to make it work. Hopefully I can. I've got a manual for it. We're gonna do a little reading, see if I can figure out settings on this. It seems like you drop this thing on the ground and strike out, and then once it's swung itself in and whatever, got its angle of whatever dangle it's got figured out, then we adjust the tongue here to where it's supposed to be. But I honestly don't entirely remember currently, so we're gonna have to figure it out, and that's fine. It's a learning experience of something I've always wanted to try to use in the field, essentially. But in case anyone's curious and doesn't know, this is called a one-way. They're really common on the high plains. You go round and round with them, kind of like you do with a plow. This one was given to Dad by a friend of his locally. And we've always just kind of, we actually never went and picked it up. And then a different guy bought the property, and he was going to try to use it to fix some terraces. He couldn't quite figure it out. Came and grabbed a 5-bottom John Deere plow from us to make it work. And now I'm going to try to hopefully figure out how to use it in the field. There's quite a few adjustment points on this. This, I think, is to lock out for backing up. You drop that pin in. This, once you get it in the field, should be a wrench around somewhere where you rotate this. It's on an eccentric, so the disc is the same, or actually is a little bit deeper than the tire. I know that's an adjustment point for swing. There's adjustment points for the swing of the machine there and how aggressive you want to be. And then adjustment here on the tongue. This adjusts depth and levels the machine, but also after you make your first round and you have it dropped in the furrow, you go and you raise this all the way up, I believe. But I'm gonna go find my manual, and we're probably gonna end this one here because I think this needs to be its own separate video. But with that, guys, we're gonna go home, find a manual, do some reading on the old one-way here, see if we can educate ourselves onto how to use this thing. I've always wanted to use one, and we're gonna figure it out on YouTube. That's gonna be it here, guys. Don't forget about the SPPA show, the end of April. I'll get more details in the description. It's April 24th and 25th. We're gonna have a tractor show right here in Alameda, Kansas. And then if you want to join the Ham's Beer Club, helps fund projects, things like that, whatever else I feel like doing. And you can follow me on all the social medias. It's at TMontyIH, website's territorialtrading.com. You guys have a good one. Go drag something out of the weeds, just like this one way, and get it running.